In the last class, like we have done it up to here. We created hip setup, hip joint, and we created spine joint. Then finally cog. Later we created like clavicle, shoulder, elbow, forearm, wrist, and palm. Now we need to adjust this. We need to adjust these things. Okay. So one more thing we have to do, that is, I'll just take skeleton, create joint screen. For thumb, 1, 2, 3. For thumb joint, it is only 3. It's not 4. Now, if you see this thumb joint, it is on the grid. I need to lift this up, place it over here. Okay. Then after this, I need to rotate this like this. Fine. Now, just to do this properly means, this joint size seems to be more. So what I'll do, I'll go to display, animation, joint size. I'm just gonna reduce the joint size. Instead of 1, I make it 0.4 or 0.5. This doesn't, give effect on, influence. Uh, it doesn't reduce the influence part, but this is okay. Okay, it is in reference mode now. So okay, these joints, I press D so I can do the placement. Okay, let me do these things here. This comes here. For this, it comes. See, wherever there is a bending point, there we need to place. This is for the little finger. Now this is okay. Like this. This is okay. Okay. Now this one, this is here. This is here. Now I'll come to this view in perspective view. I need to see whether it is fine or not. So check if any joints are coming outside. You need to place that inside. I think it is fine. So this sort of placements you need to do. That's most important. Now naming. So this is left clavicle. LT underscore clavicle. This is left shoulder. Left elbow. Left forearm. Left wrist. And this is left palm. Now what I'll do, this one should be child of this one. Select this and select this, press P so that this becomes child of this. Okay, but this has to go to this particular joint part. So I press D. This should be somewhere here for the joint part. I think it's okay. So now I select this, right click, select hierarchy. So here you name this as LT underscore thumb. So it's like thumb one, two, three. Same thing we have to do when there is a same name for the multiple object. I select this, I'll go to hierarchy. This is index finger, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. So what I'll do, LT underscore index. So you can see index 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see here. This is 3, 4. Similarly, this is middle finger. Select this, right click, go to hierarchy. LT. You need to mention LT. Why? Because this is left hand. LT middle. Because all these are really important when we do skinning part. I select this, select hierarchy. LT underscore ring. Now I select this hierarchy. LT underscore little. Okay. So I think all the joint name has been done. Now I select this clavicle. I need to mirror this for the right hand. Select this. Go to skeleton. You have mirror joint. Click on the option box. It has to be in YZ. Mirror function, its behavior. Search for LT replace with RT. I click on mirror. So now you can see right clavicle, right shoulder, right elbow, right forearm. Everything is of right. Okay. Fine. Any doubts up to here? Lindel Vasena?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Now what I'll do, these clavicle joint, select both the clavicle joint. This clavicle joint has to be the child of this one. This is the spine, final spine, which is spine 4. Select these two and click on this joint. The joint which is just below the neck, that is spine. Select these two clavicles, select this, press P, P for parenting. Now what happens? These two joints are child of this one. Okay. It is something like this. So now seems all the joint structuring is done. The next step, very important step, what we have to do is select any joint, press up arrow. You need to select cog joint. Basically, you need to select cog joint. Okay, right click, go to hierarchy. It's like there are a lot of freeze transformations are there for each joint. Means multiple transformation values are there. You need to select the cog, right click, go to hierarchy, modify freeze transformation, freeze. So what happens here, we have done a rotation. We need to freeze the rotation value. Translation value, it will not freeze for joint, and you cannot do that. Only rotation values we need to freeze. So that's the reason. Select the cog, right click hierarchy, modify freeze transformation. This step is mandatory. We need to do this. So next step, file. I would like to save the next step as step 2 as IK handles. IK underscore handles. IK handles. This is a second step. Once the joint setup is done, the next step is IK handles. IK handles stands for inverse kinematics. Okay, inverse kinematics. So, as you know, for the leg part, we'll be starting with the leg part. What I'll do, I'll select these two. Control H. I'm gonna hide it. I want to hide reverse joints. Select reverse heel. Hide. Okay, Control H for hide. So currently, like I have hidden this. So we can unhide this by pressing Shift H. So now let's start with IK handle. From here, create IK handle, go to option box. I want RP, rotate plane solver, from thigh to ankle. Okay, I select this IK handle again, RP solver from thigh to ankle. Okay, so again here I want again RP solver for left hand is the no shoulder, shoulder to wrist. One more RP solver, one more IK handle from right shoulder to wrist. Okay, then I want SC solver, single chain solver from ankle to ball. Again SC single chain solver from ball to toe. Similarly, ankle to ball, again ball to toe. Okay. So in total for the leg part, 1, 2, 3, 6. There are total 6 is there in the leg part, and 2 IK handle RP solver for the hand part. Okay. So this is what we have done for IK handles. Now I'm good with IK handles. The next step is controllers. Okay. I'll save as another thing. We need to add controllers. Okay. So that animators will be selecting the controller and they'll do the animation. So now what I'll do in this class, I'll add controllers, but connections, how to give connections and all that we'll do in the next session. Okay. So adding controllers, what are the type of controllers we want? So basically for the hand part, for the spine part, for the leg part, we'll see that. Majorly we'll go with curves only. I select a curve. I create one big curve. Okay. Now I would like to name this as global controller. Global controller. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'm gonna duplicate this. I make this thing smaller. And I'm gonna place this somewhere. Select this V here. So this becomes cock controller. Okay. And I duplicate this and I make this thing smaller. This, okay, I would like to name this one is cog controller. Okay. This is hip controller. Hip controller. Okay. Got it. But hip controller has to be a little bit different. It cannot be the same. I select the alternate vertex of hip controller and I'm gonna make it something like this. A bit difference I would like to show. Okay. Now I'm gonna create controllers for these joints. So this controller only, I duplicate this V1 here. I'll change the shape. Once I made it a bit smaller. Duplicate one here. Control D, one here. Again Control D, one here, like this. See? Okay. So this is spine 1, spine 2, spine 3, spine 4. Spine 4. There are 4 controllers, right? I would like to name this as spine 1, spine 2, spine 3, spine 4. I will mention here spine control. So spine controller 1, 2, and spine controller 3. That's okay. Okay. We named it like this. And actually all these joints, like I'm just the pivot point, I'm placing it in the center of this joint. Okay. So now I'm duplicating this and I'm making this smaller. I would like to place this for here, neck controller. You need to hold V, middle click. So this will be a neck controller. Okay. After this, control D, I'm going to place one here. I'm going to place it like this, to down. I need to do a simple edit. This is for the joint part. Okay. I select this. I press insert or D. Pivot point, I would like to place this to the joint. I want this curve's pivot point to be here. So this is a jaw controller. And this is a neck controller. Okay. I'm going to create this one here, one more over here in the top. This will be like a head controller. I press D so that I can move my pivot point, not this one. I press D, only the pivot point. Now this is a head controller. Okay. Any doubts up to here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Great. So I'm going to create one more curve here in the side view. Now this one I would like to place for the shoulder. No, for the wrist. So I'm scaling this one and I'm going to duplicate this. And here we hold V, you can snap it here. This is left hand controller, that is right hand controller. After this, I'm going to create one more circle here. So I'm going to place this here in the back side. I would like to make this something called elbow controller, that is called pole vector. So pole vectors will be in a different shape. Modify center pivot, and this one snap to elbow controller. I'm going to make it quite big. I duplicate this and I'm going to snap here. Okay. These two I'm going to place it in the back side. Now I select this, I duplicate for the knee also, but I would like to rotate this in minus 180. I want in this direction. Control D, V snap for here. I select this and I'm going to place this here. This is a leg pole vector. These two are hand pole vector. I'm going to create another curve. So I select this V snap to grid. And I'm gonna duplicate this V snap to this one, and I would like to rotate this. It is X minus 1. Okay. Now I select this both, place it a little bit down. Okay, this leg controller is done, knee controller done, cog, hip, spine controller done, neck is done, hand pollinator is done. I think this is also done. Okay, we'll create one more curve, that is hand palm controller. So here, fine, I select this, modify center pivot, and this one here for this joint. Select this. Okay. I'm gonna duplicate this over here. So this is -1. Now what I'll do, I'll select this and this both. I'm gonna lift this. This one, so did some sort of placement. Okay. So I think all the controllers are done. So what I have to do is, like, for all these controllers, if you see a lot of transformation values are there, this we need to freeze it. Okay. So for that, what I'll do, show none. That means don't show anything. Now show NURBS curves. Show NURBS curves. Now you can see all these NURBS curves here. Okay. Modify freeze transform first thing. Okay. I think just only do that, and edit delete by type history. Only this two. One is modify freeze transform and delete history, nothing else. Now show all. So you have the entire character like this. So you need to do the naming for this controller. This is left hand control. This is right hand control. Right hand control. Okay. I select this left hand pole vector, P vector. I select this right hand pole vector. Then left fingers. This is right fingers. Okay. All this naming is done. I think leg, left leg pole vector. This is right leg pole vector. This is left leg controller. This is right leg controller. So I think most of the things are done. Okay, two more things. Here in the clavicle, add one circle. Snap this to the joint, Control D, snap to another joint, select these two curve, bring it back. Okay. Again, this one, modify freeze transform. Edit, delete by type, history. This is left clavicle control. This is, you can mention left clavicle. This is right clavicle. Okay. I think all the controllers are done. Next is we have to give connections, that is constraints. After constraints, we have parenting and grouping. Then I think rigging will be done. Then skinning for the character. Okay. Will you complete up to here, Lindell Vasena?
Yes, sir.
Try to do, okay, don't miss this. This is very important rigging thing. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Fine, then I'll upload this video and share it with you all. Just try to complete up to here.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so fine. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.